We are going to go ahead and get this show on the road. I'm Chris Levatino, Athletic Director here at Evanston Township High School. And I have the distinct honor of serving as the chair of our Hall of Fame committee each year. We want to first off welcome all of the families and individuals from across the country that came back to Evanston this weekend for this great event. I know some of you guys came as far as Los Angeles and maybe even beyond, and we really appreciate you guys finding your way back to Evanston. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to our new Director of Alumni Relations. Hopefully most of you had a chance to meet with her last night. She is the one that put together this incredible spectacle of an event from the decorations for today and last night. In the past, we really never had too much support from Alumni Relations on this, and you can tell that her magic touch has really dressed up the event. So without further ado, you may remember her as our old Pom Kids coach, but she's now our Director of Alumni Relations. Please welcome Nicole Boyd.
Good morning. I'm feeling the energy from this side of the room. That's so good for my only child ego. Thank you. Good afternoon, E-Town. For years, I was in student activity, so that I would do the announcement. So this is my announcement energy. But it is so good to see you. So last night at about 11:30, I was on a group text with Chris and Carolyn over here. And I was sending pictures to them. We all had different responsibilities last night. Thank you to whoever gave me the group picture, because I left my phone under the other table of the girls' track. All of the athletes being honored today are incredibly important and so amazing. But the energy I felt under that tent last night was insane. And while Chris was busy doing other stuff, Carolyn was busy doing other stuff, I just wanted to communicate that enthusiasm to them because they didn't get to feel it and see it. And I was so giddy last night because every time a new person came, everybody was screaming. I was like, ah! And it was wonderful. I am a former Wildcat class in 1996. Chris is an alum. And so this kind of stuff, we both bleed orange and blue. So this kind of stuff just means the world to all of us. I am so excited about all of you today. And in this capacity as in Director of Alumni Relations, it warms my heart to bring people back home. So welcome back to ETHS. Some of you haven't been here since you graduated, and you were saying that last night, and some of you hadn't seen each other in years. So all the smiles, all the laughters, all the going down memory lane, it was just amazing to experience that firsthand. So thank you all for coming back. Thank you for all your energy. And I'm going to take a moment to fuss because y'all are the younger alums and y'all don't keep in touch with us. We had to do homework finding phone numbers, addresses, and emails and all of that stuff. Y'all know we send out a newsletter biannually and we can't get y'all's information. So I get to say that to say Alumni Relations really wants to keep in touch with our Wildcats. You guys are doing amazing things and we want to celebrate you every opportunity we get. But we need to get in touch with you to do that. So make sure and some of you'll be celebrating your 10-year class reunion next year. We want to help you with that. And one of y'all in here may be wanting to plan your reunion next year. So we just want to make sure you stay in touch, keep your contact information current so we can bring you back home for these fun and exciting events. So I don't want to belabor this anymore, but I am so, so happy to see you all, so proud of your accomplishments, so happy that families are here to be able to share in this with you, and you are representing E-Town and Wildcats. Please blast this all over social media because it truly is an honor what you all have accomplished as student athletes here, and I'm so excited about you. So welcome home and go Kits!
That was great. That was great. And truly, truly thank you to Nicole for the designing and planning and preparation for last night and today. It's really beautiful. Again, it's great to have so many of you back home with us at ETHS. For some of you, the place has changed maybe a little bit since the last time you were here. This is a very younger group than we normally have. So for some of you, it probably hasn't changed at all. But over the last 18 years, thanks to the support of our administration and the ETHS Foundation, for those of you who are a little bit older, we've made a lot of changes. Friday night lights didn't exist back in 05 and 06. We didn't have football games on a Friday night at ETHS. That was thanks to our foundation. The field house floor looked a little different color. If you track starters, remember, it was that green gummy stuff. And now it's a Mondo track with a new ceiling, although it still does leak a little bit at times. Our Lake Street tennis facilities are totally transformed, new baseball, softball complex. So we've really tried to put a lot into our facilities over the last 15, 20 years, and the ETHS Foundation has done a ton to support us with that. But facilities only mean so much at a high school. And, you know, I want you to know that it's the athletes and the coaches that make this place still continue to be special to this day. And I'm glad you're going to get a chance to meet some of our current coaches. For some of you that don't know some of the other programs, you get a chance. Well, this place is predominantly track already, but for those of you who aren't, you get a chance to meet our head girls track and field coach. You get a chance to meet our head baseball coach and our head soccer coach. So they'll get a chance to talk a little bit later and get a chance to see that we're still in good hands here. The past year was a very good year for the kids. Boys golf did something that it's never done in the history of our school. They finished as the state runner-up, and we even had an individual finish as the state runner-up. And you know how they got there? They beat New Trier in the regional for the championship. They beat New Trier for the sectional championship. And guess what? They beat New Trier downstate as well. I'm just saying. It was fun. Girls water polo, girls bowling, and boys gymnastics all made it back to the state finals for their second straight years, which is awesome. And our gymnastics team even took fourth in state. Boys basketball made it to the Final Four and finished third. And in its first year as a sanctioned sport, girls flag football. And there's some of you guys here that if we had girls flag football back in the day, man, Tamika, wow, jet sweep, let's do it. But they made it to the Elite Eight downstate in their first year. And overall, 9 teams finished in the top 10 for the state ranking. So a lot of tremendous success on the team front. And even we had some individuals win state championships. Eric Van Leer won his 3rd state championship in gymnastics. Ellie Iovaldi made history in our girls gymnastics program, taking a 4th place medal, the best finish ever. And boys track and field won the coveted mile relay with the state championship down in Charleston. So that's all the fun success in competition, but our overall mission continues to be the same here that it's been for as long as I've been involved in the athletic program, and that's to build better human beings, right? That can help unite and uplift the entire Evanston community. And we are aggressively searching and finding ways to break down the systemic barriers that we have in our town, to give greater access to our Black and Latinx families, to have access to what have been predominantly white sports. And one of the cool programs that has emerged over the last 2 years is the Kumba Evanston Olympic Games. And we are lucky enough to have a few people that have made a big impact in that, in Parker, in Bob, and in Shalina. They've given up a ton of their time. And I just want to acknowledge them for their success in that area as well. Not just running track meets and being good people, but you guys really giving back to the community. And this past year, we had over 300 kids participate from 4th through 7th grade, and they played 21 sports over 3 weeks, and it's a program that we're going to continue to build and grow. So I just wanted to share that with all of you because that's a really important part of our department. And making those efforts pays off because we know that more kids, when they participate in sports here at ETHS, they do much better in the classroom. The average GPA for our student athletes is about a 3.8 where the average GPA for a non-athlete is around a 3.0. So we want to get as many kids as possible involved in athletics. And our success in athletics and academics has also had a big impact in our college participation in athletics. And every year, we send about 50 student athletes to participate and compete in college. And we've had such notable schools as Duke, North Carolina, Purdue, Wisconsin, Northwestern, Notre Dame, Princeton, Michigan, just to name a few. And a lot of those schools are represented with the kids in here. So I see some claps of hands back there. Let's give it up for those opportunities. But we are not here today to talk about our current accomplishments, although we're very proud. We're here to celebrate and honor you guys and the accomplishments and legacy that you have left for the future generations of Wildcats. We want to recognize and thank some of our committee members that could be with us today that were part of this process. Bob Slaughter, who I think not only is the dad of one of our runners, but he's also right now the hallway monitor, directing traffic in here still. Frank Consiglio, our baseball coach. Dennis Mahoney, our journalist. Thank you guys for being a part of the committee and for being here today. I want to also give a special thank you to Dennis Mahoney, who was a 40-year sports journalist who made the fateful mistake one day when he said he was retiring of saying to me, "Chris, I don't know if there's anything you ever need from me, let me know." And I think it was the next day, maybe 12 hours later, I said, "Dennis, how would you like to be a volunteer sports information director for us and continue to write articles for free?" And 12 years later, and probably 2,500 stories later, Dennis Mahoney is still writing these incredible articles that you guys are reading about today, and he writes articles throughout the entire year. So big round of applause for Dennis. And I always want to thank one more person here, and that's Dan Peterson. He's kind of laid the foundation of all of our old timers. He's the old historian of everybody that's inducted pretty much before the 1960s is a nomination from Dan. He's back in Italy, but I always want to give him a shout out for what he's done to build up our Athletic Hall of Fame. We have such an interesting group of inductees this year. First of all, I think most important to note, Nicole alluded to earlier, every one of our inductees graduated in the 21st century. Like, that is a big twist, trust me, compared to what we've done in years past. And it's probably a good thing that you all are so young, because some of our old timers may not have been able to make it through the longest half in high school football that you all experienced yesterday. The first quarter, I clocked it, was 58 minutes. You guys were troopers. I don't think we've ever had that late of a Hall of Fame celebration as we did at halftime. And I know you all bounced out of here pretty quickly after, and that's okay. We had the game well in hand, and I'm happy to say that we went on to win 49-6 over the Vikings. The other, I think, really important item to note is there has been, if you look at all the classes in years past, there's always been a very large gender imbalance in our inductees. Right? A lot of that has to do with the historical significance of Title IX coming in 1973, right? But you all have flipped that completely on its head this year. We have 2 teams and 3 individuals that are all female, woman, girl power led, and only 1 male inductee. And I'm wondering if maybe that girl power intimidated Zach so much that he wasn't even able to make it in today. But it's really cool to see how things have transformed. And I will say that our girls are winning the race in competition these days in the last 20 years. And you all helped lay the foundation for that here at ETHS. So kudos to that. We've got some of our all-time best athletes in their respective sports in the history of our school being inducted in diving, soccer, and track. We've got someone who did something that no other athlete has ever done in the history of our league. We've got 2 teams that completed the greatest 4-year dynasty of any ETHS sports team in the modern era. You are all, yeah, absolutely. You are all part of the ETHS legacy from now until the end of time, and we look forward to hearing your stories after lunch. And now I'd like to introduce Carolyn O'Connell from the athletic department, who will say our invocation and explain the marching orders for the buffet line. Carolyn, Clorinda Harbison, who wasn't able to be with us today, and Nicole Boyd have done an incredible job organizing all the details for this event. So please welcome and show your appreciation for Carolyn O'Connell.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Athletics at ETHS is an everyday celebration of the human spirit. It is the orange and blue living life out loud. As our boys' golf team bags proudly display, established 1883, and as such, we would like to take a moment to honor all those who proudly wore the colors before us and reflect on their legacy and the positive impact they had on ETHS athletic traditions. Most importantly, we remember all the ETHS Athletic Hall of Fame inductees' family and friends who walked with them, supported them, loved them, and were a key part of their success and the foundation that makes ETHS the extraordinary community and experience that it is today. May their memory be eternal. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.
All right. I hope you all are enjoying your meal. Feel free to continue to make your way back to the buffet line throughout the afternoon. But we are going to go ahead and get started now. And once again, if you want to grab some food throughout, another drink, just feel free to make your way back to the buffet during the afternoon. But we're going to go ahead and get started by honoring our first individual inductee from the class of 2008, member of our boys basketball and baseball program, Zach Morton. Zach was the captain of our basketball team that took third in state. He earned CSL South Player of the Year in basketball and baseball. So top player in the conference for both sports in the same year, and that's never been done before in the history of the Central Suburban League. He led the Big Ten in batting average at Northwestern University and was all Big Ten in 2010 and 2013, and still ranks number 11 for total innings pitched at Northwestern, and was drafted by the Houston Astros in 2013. Here to introduce him today is our head baseball coach, celebrating his 50th birthday today, Frank Consiglio.
Hello, how's everybody doing? What a beautiful event. I want to congratulate everyone here, all of the inductees. And I also want to give a thank you to, honestly, what I feel is one of the most underappreciated departments here at ETHS, and that's the athletic department of Chris Livatino, Mike, Buzz, Carolyn, and Clorinda. I don't know if anyone says thank you enough for everything that they do. It's usually they're just putting out problems and getting requests. So I'm confident we have one of the strongest athletic departments around. So I just want to give a big round of applause to everybody in that department. So Chris gave you some of the stats, but I'd like to give you look beyond the stats, as they say. Back in 2008, it was my first year as a head coach. And I remember walking in the building and hearing about, hey, you have to see this kid. He is really good. He dominated his junior year. And so as a first-year head coach, I was so excited to see what and who Zach Morton was. And as the year went on, because we don't have our season into the spring, I would have countless teachers, other coaches, other programs come up to me and talk to me about seeing Zach Morton. And what I realized thinking back on that is it was much more about who he was as a person. Right? Like the initial part of the conversation was he's a really good pitcher, he throws hard, he's gonna have success. But before I spent 1 second coaching him on the field, one practice, I had heard about his character, who he was as a person, how much he valued being a great teammate, his friend group and how tight they were, and he was a big part of that. And that's something that would never happen to me again, because it was my year one, and I was able to hear about the person he was. And so in the winter, which is basketball season here at ETHS, being a young coach, we did a few team builders where we had gone to a bunch of the athletic events and followed the basketball team. And that year, they went downstate. Coach Bobby Locke and his team went downstate. And my first experience seeing Zach compete was as one of the best guards in the area, certainly one of the best guards in the CSL, and I fell in love with him. Just to see how he interacted with people, his coaches, see how he interacted with his teammates, and the dominance that he had on the floor, I was in awe. And by the time he got to the spring season, now mind you, the basketball season, the state series ends on a Saturday, okay? We started, that we had practice and tryouts on that Monday, right? For him, it was practice because tryouts had just ended. He came in that Monday, said, "I'm ready to go, coach. Put me where you need me." I go, "Well, why don't we ease you in, give you a few weeks. We'll let you set. I'm good. I'm ready." And he got on the mound that week. He prepared for his season and put together one of the most dominating seasons in ETHS history, where he went 9 wins and 1 loss with an earned run average just above 1. Absolutely dominant on the mound. And then you look at him and you go, okay, what else can you do? Not only did he pitch, which to me is the premium position in baseball, he went to go play the other premium position in baseball, which is shortstop. And he was an elite defender, and he was an elite hitter. To the point where he could have won CSL Player of the Year in any of those areas. And that is such a, and I look back and I didn't realize how hard that would be, right? But now the experience that I have and looking back on the countless players that I've been blessed to coach, he is truly a one of one. And I'm not certain that something like that will ever be done in the baseball program. Now take a step forward. He leaves Evanston Township High School, which, by the way, when I talked to him this week, he gave so much thanks over and over to his experience at ETHS, right? And he didn't just say baseball, he didn't say basketball, he didn't say just athletics. He talked about, I remember those years. I couldn't have been more happier. I love ETHS. I love Evanston. It's where I became the person I am. And I think that his love and his passion for not only his school, his teams, and his friend group were so noticeable. And that energy is something that you would feed off of. He also said, Coach, in high school, all the way through high school, before high school, and after high school, my parents were always there. They never forced me to play basketball. They never encouraged me to play one sport and not 2. They knew it was my passion, and they helped me see it through. He mentioned the countless AAU tournaments and games that they would drive him to, backed up by basketball season finishing and then having baseball games and baseball tournaments. Then on to college, where Zach excelled as both a hitter and a pitcher at Northwestern, And guess who was there? His parents. And he is a man of few words, but he did not mix those words at all. You could tell how important it was to him as a person that love and support was instilled by his parents. And so I know Zach wants to give a big thank you to both his mom and dad. So round of applause there. Northwestern University, Big Ten baseball. All right, we've had in our program since I've coached here, we've had 2 go there, right? And Zach went there to pitch. What they soon learned is that he can do it all. And so not only does he go pitch, gets drafted as a pitcher, but in his time there, he became one of the best hitters, one of the top hitters batting average wise in the Big Ten. Won a Big Ten batting title. He is that good of an athlete. And so for me, it all came together for him. And then his career. He's currently working for the Cleveland Guardians. He is in their analytics department. He is in the clubhouse every single game. He talks to players and coaches, travels with the team, and is fortunate enough to take his love for baseball and make it a career. And so when talking to Zach and just hearing him and kind of trying to read between the lines, he is so thankful for what baseball, the game of baseball, has done for him. But he realizes that could never take place without his experience at ETHS, his experience in Evanston athletics, and his love and support from his family, his friends, his coaches. And so I want to congratulate Zach Morton and welcome to the Hall of Fame. To say a few additional words, please welcome Jake Rudy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jake Rohde, and I'm a class of 2008. I'm currently a master's student in social work at UIC, and also was a football coach here from 2009 to 2018. I was talking with one of my players, Ethan, earlier, and he asked if me and Zach were related, and we're not related, Ethan, thank you, but while my mom is Japanese American, my dad is white. That's about where the similarities end. But Zach meant a lot to me growing up. I'm gonna tell a little story about him, and I hope that helps you get a good sense of who he is. So I'm mixed. Grew up kind of confused in Evanston. Like I felt like white people had like their thing over here and my black friends had their thing over here, and I was kind of in the middle of it all. I have no doubts that Zach felt similarly. Like if you would see what he wore back in the day, you would see that he felt a little similarly, just like me. But that came into play as I got into middle school. Kids got a little mean in middle school. And actually what frustrated me most about middle school was like when people would bully me, they would call me by the wrong ethnic slur. Like it happened all the time. And I learned to kind of deal with it, but the problem is when I was kind of wished they would at least get it right, the right ethnic slur. But when they did get it right, it felt worse. So that didn't help. What I was feeling, no doubt Zach got on the court. Like, it's not hard. It's not easy being an Asian American basketball player. There aren't many of us. So what he experienced has to be a little bit different. But I first saw Zach play sports. I was a flag football player in 5th grade. And I saw this Asian kid all the way off in the distance. and he was throwing touchdowns all over the place. And I said, who is that kid? And similarly to Frank, Zach was the guy. Like, and people talked about him like he was the guy. And when I finally saw him play basketball in high school, I was totally blown away. He was quick, he was fast, he was skilled, he was fearless, and it made me proud to be who I am. And did everybody remember Linsanity? Who was around for Linsanity? Remember? Okay, we had a couple people for Linsanity. There we go, in the back, Linsanity. Thank you. Linsanity was a big deal for me. Like, Jeremy Lin was a big deal. First Chinese-American basketball player to play in the NBA. And, like, Zach was my Linsanity. Zach was my role model. Not to mention he was also a stellar scholar, the kindest dude in the school. And I really appreciated him for that. But I saw Zach this summer, finally caught up with him, and we started to talk about a history a little bit, because our families are connected. Even though we don't know each other, our families are connected. You see, our grandparents were incarcerated in the same internment camp for Japanese Americans during World War II in Poston, Arizona. And I didn't know that until I talked to Zach in the summer this year. And they were our grandmothers, around the same age, both being raised by single moms with 5 different kids in a little room about like the size of this, like maybe like a 10 by 10 room, raising 6 kids in a 10 by 10 room. And Poston, Arizona is pretty much in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the desert. It was a hard time. It was a hard time. And my grandma used to tell me stories, and I do wonder if Kim's mom, Aiko, did this, where they would not escape. They were kids, so they wanted to go to the Colorado River. Poston, Arizona is by the Colorado River, and so they wanted to like go down to the river one day. And to do that, they had to get past armed guards and barbed wire fences. And she told it like she was at summer camp, which is typical. But even though our families don't know each other, we're connected in this way. And so after the war and, hey Lenny, after the war and Japanese American prisoners were released from incarceration camps, a lot of them came to Chicago. And Zach's parents, Yosh Amino and Aiko Suzuki, both settled in Hyde Park, and they met each other in Hyde Park, realized they had a lot in common, and ended up getting married and settled in Chicago. And it was I don't know if it was their dream to settle in Chicago, but they certainly created a lot of dreams through that process. Yosh, I remember because he was always at Zach's baseball games. He went to ETHS games, he went to Northwestern games, he went to games when Zach was in the minor leagues, and Yosh had a daily routine in the springtime. Yosh would wake up in the morning, and he would drive to the hospital in hospice care, and he would spend time with his mother, with his wife, Aiko. And he'd spend time in hospice care all day. They would spend time together. And then 1 o'clock rolled around, about the time the Northwestern games would start. He would drive over to Northwestern, and he'd watch the games. And sometimes he would come in and out of the ballpark without even being seen. We'd just slip in, watch Zach play, slip out. He was a quiet dude, upstanding dude, focused, intentional guy. But, baseball can be slow sometimes, so I assume he drifted off and thought about other stuff. But I do wonder if in those moments when Yosh is watching Zach play, I do wonder if he ever thought that Zach was living his dream. And I don't know what Yosh dreamt of doing with his life. I'm sure that the war changed that, but I wonder if, I think about this sometimes, if Yosh was watching Zach play and watching his dream kind of play out on the field, or watching Kim and Eric sit in the stands, cheering Zach on, and Connor when he's there, Zach's brother, and seeing a family supporting each other. And I wonder if he felt content in those moments. So I do believe we're all living the dreams of our ancestors and the people that came before us. At one point in time, I'm sure Yosh and Aiko didn't think it was possible that Zach could achieve something like this, that their family could achieve something like this, but here we are. And I think in the spirit of dreams, may we all have that courage to take one step towards our ancestors' dream today. So, thank you.
Alright, y'all, you're gonna look right towards me. Give me your blessed smiles.
Thank you.
All right, once again, congratulations to Zach Morton from the class of 2008. Up next is a member of our track and field team from the class of 2014, Parker English. Parker won a state championship in the 200 and 400 in 2014, and also the 4x4 and 4x200 relays in 2011. She won 13 state medals altogether, which is the third most in school history. She ran the 10th fastest time in the nation in the 400 in 2014 and was the Gatorade Illinois Track and Field Athlete of the Year. Only two other athletes have done that in the history of our school, and they're also members of our track and field program. She led ETHS to 4th place in state that year and ran at the University of Notre Dame. She still holds the records at ETHS for the 400 and the long jump. Here to introduce her today is last year's Hall of Fame coach inductee, Fenny Gunter.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the girls track and field staff and especially late, great Coach Jeff Seibert, we'd like to salute all the recipients of being in the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to everyone. And then one more quick shout out to the English family. If you're an Evanstonian, you know your history. There's a little history behind the English family in Evanston, Illinois. So definitely want to acknowledge that great family. Thank you very much for your outstanding contributions over the decades. First of all, Parker's mother, when she since she didn't attend junior high school in Evanston, brought to us, Coach Seibert and our attention that they had a daughter that they wanted us to look at to see if she could maybe potentially run when she came to high school. So we said, yeah, just bring her on over to the school. We'll look at her real quick. So they brought her over to the school one day. She came in by the wrestling room entrance. And Coach Cybert and I were in one of our usual places, just sitting up in the stands, just watching everything. And we saw her enter, and we just said, hey, just stay over there by the wrestling room door. Just run down to the end of the straightaway and run back. So she ran down to the end of the straightaway, ran back. We said, yeah, we can do something with her when she get over here. And that was pretty much that. A well-rounded athlete when she did attend Evanston. She played multiple sports and finally settled in on just representing the school in girls track and field. One of only 2 girls that I've coached, so been privileged to coach over the going on 44 years now, who actually had a duplicate medal made from her competing at the state finals. So I have one from 1989 from one of our young ladies, Miss Foster, and that's yours. I'd like to read something real quick from a great individual about this young lady. It's a poem from the great Robert Klein, and it's be all that you can be. To be an athlete, you must first learn that a self-respect you'll have to earn. You must conquer you, or you'll surely get beat, because you are the one against whom you compete. Victories are the reason a team can be, but scores and stats are for the fans to see. All athletes know that what matters more is attention to the effort that causes the score. Sprinters can lope, leapers can hop. Talent without effort is always a flop. If you hold back in fear of opponents or mistakes, you simply don't have the stuff that it takes. Speak first to yourself and firmly say, I'm going all out, today is the day. Then concentrate totally to do what you're told. Be poised, be alert, be aggressive, be bold. That's what it takes to earn self-respect. It's not as quite as tough as many suspect. The goal never changes. All athletes agree. Whatever you have is what you must be. Heed not opponents' names or fame. Care not about others' praise or blame. For there is this fact at the final gun. If you were all you can be, you have won. You definitely won, young lady. A tremendous athlete, surrounded by great athletes, helped mature this young lady into the athlete that she wound up becoming. She has some outstanding mentors through the athletic department and the academic area of our school, along with community members, which again attributes to her great upbringing and family traditions, which made her the complete student athlete for us during her tenure at Evanston Township High School. There's so many things you can say about this young lady, but to kind of simplify it, she did her job just like she was expected to do. And they, no fuss about it, just did what we expected her to do. Just like so many other young ladies that have come through our program. She represented the community and the school at the highest tradition. And that says a lot considering how much tradition our school has garnered since the 1800s. A true champion, a great person, a great teammate, and one of the long line of orange and blue runners that have carried on a strong tradition for our program since 1974. A couple of accolades on her because there are many. We're going to keep it kind of short, try to. But again, a multiple winner in our conference, state qualifier 4 years in a row, starting as a freshman, even though she was injured and she still ran well for us at the state finals on 2 relays. Great individual. Each year she had to learn how to mature to accept the responsibilities of being an individual event. And again, she had so many of her teammates who really supported her during that time. And her learning how to be an individual over a 4-year period after being a relay individual, a relay person for her first 2 years. It took some time and some patience. And she always had a few doubts about her ability to excel, but she listened to her coaches and just really put her trust in the people who were working with her, and things worked out well. Her senior year, she only lost 2 races. And it was just the same young lady over in Indianapolis. And I remember she was very devastated, but she was on task for what we wanted her to do at that time. And I remember I mentioned to her, hey, when we see this young lady again in May, it'll be a different outcome. It was a different outcome, thankfully. And she just had a tremendous 4-year career for us. She led by example. Got that next group of young ladies that we would have after the 14 season going into the next decade, where she helped groom a couple of those young girls who wound up being on our 2021 and 2022 and 2023 groups that had some success. So she really did a great job, like so many of our other young ladies, helping prepare our future girls for later on competing for Evanston Township and representing Evanston Township High School. Gatorade Circle of Champion, again, they've been having that award since 1985. There's only been 3 young ladies that earned that award, 3 athletes to earn that award at Evanston Township for all of our sports. And thankfully, all 3 of those young ladies came out of the track and field program. Our coaches, each state is only allowed 1 selection for that award. To me, it's one of the highest awards that you can get as a high school athlete because your coaches have nothing to do with it. That is an award that a committee actually has to send information to the Gatorade people, and then they make the selection and stuff based on the information that they have. And she was in some high quality. When you have a Derek Jeter, you know some of these names of past recipients of this award: Dwight Howard, Lisa Leslie, Peyton Manning, Alonzo Mourning. You know, that's some pretty good company to be included in during your high school career. So our program really thanks you for being another recipient of that prestigious award. You really earned it. And based on that, I'm not going to talk too much longer. I'm going to leave that alone, and we are going to give this mic to Miss Parker. Oh. And then last but not least, I almost forgot, the professor did a tremendous job with you, and thank you for putting that trust into Miss Natalie for assisting you that senior year. Parker English.
Thank you so much, Vinny. It's such an honor to be here today amongst so many great athletes being inducted into the Hall of Fame today. First, I want to thank my family that's here. You guys here? First, I want to thank my family that's here, my siblings, my grandparents, but especially my parents. I wouldn't be standing here today without their unconditional love and support. When Dennis, the reporter who wrote the program, called me, it made me reflect on my time running track here in a way that I hadn't thought about in years. He asked me about the races, the medals, the performances, and some I remembered right away, but most I couldn't. And I think that's because when I look back at my time here, it isn't the times or the medals, it's the people. The encouragement, the support, the ways he lifted me up and helped me grow. And when I think about the incredible culture of the Evanston track and field program, it was a culture based on excellence, but I remember it most because it's like a family. As a freshman, I had so many incredible women to look up to. There was Danielle, Alexa, Janelle, and Margaret. They showed me what it was like to work hard in practice and to push myself, overcome adversity. Margaret, in particular, was the first person that I got to witness win an individual state championship. I watched her overcome the pressure and the nerves to rise to the occasion. Track also brought me lifelong friendships. My friends Lala, Lexi, and Grace all met through the program. And then I want to thank the assistant coaches, LaShawn, Tamika, Michelle, Tranquil, Natasha, and Miss Natalie. They uplifted me through injury, helped encourage me through self-doubt, and guided me with the kind of support that only someone can give who's walked in the same shoes as you. I'll never forget sitting in front of the trophy cases before going to state each year, remembering all the women that had come before me and drawing from their strength. I also remember the alumni who poured encouragement into me. They stood where I stood and understood what I was going through. That kind of support reminded me that I was something bigger than myself. The culture, like the one that defines the Evanston girls track team, doesn't happen by luck or accident. It was intentionally built by two people who have a true gift for developing others, not just as athletes, but as people. Words can't capture the impact that they've had on so many lives. Those two people are Jessie Seibert and Fenton Gunter. Coach Seibert is no longer with us. But I know he's smiling down from heaven today. When I first met Coach Seibert, he coached me in the long jump. I have many fond memories of him picking me up for track meets on Saturday. We'd eat snacks and he would tell me about all the girls he's coached in the past. He was a great listener, always ready to give advice. His legacy will live on through all of us who are lucky to have been coached by him. His coaching companion is Finney. Finney has one of those rare abilities to see in people what they can't yet see in themselves. He knows exactly what you need when you need it. Sometimes it's a stern talking to light a fire under you. Other times it's simply a shoulder to cry on. Together, Finney and Seibert helped shape me, not only as an athlete, but as the woman that I am today. They believed in me when I struggled to believe in myself. I don't know if I can ever repay them for the lessons that they've given me or the support along the way, but I know this, the best way I can honor them is to continue to give back to the next generation of the girls who stood where I once did. I'm truly honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame with so many great athletes that have come through to ETHS. To stand here is truly a humbling experience, and it fills me with gratitude. Thanking to my family, my teammates, the coaches, and the entire ETHS community for believing in me, supporting me, and shaping me. This honor is not just mine, but it belongs to all of us who make up the Evanston track and field family. Thank you. Take a picture now, I'm not crying.
Congratulations again to Parker English. As you can see, I'm handing each of our recipients a smaller version of the big plaque. The big plaques if you guys don't know, I think most of you do know, are currently residing in the lobby right outside of Beardsley Gym. Our long-term plan is to relocate them to the new atrium area. That's really cool, right over by the field house when you come in through entrance 3. So we're almost to the point of maximum capacity in Beardsley Gym lobby. So that'll be happening soon. And then everyone also gets a coin, an ETHS coin, commemorative coin that says Athletic Hall of Fame on the rim. So those are the items you guys all get to keep with you. But we do need the big plaques back afterwards. All right, our next recipient of the individual Hall of Fame induction is a member of our 2017 class and competed in soccer here, and that's Maya Sella. Maya was all sectional and CSL South all conference all 4 years. She was all state in 2016 and 17. She was a 4-year starter at the University of Wisconsin, where they advanced to the NCAA tournament Sweet 16 3 different years and won the Big Ten championship in 2019. She played every game of her collegiate career and was first team All Big Ten in 2019 and 2020. Here to introduce her today is another ETHS soccer legend who also played at Wisconsin, and her old coach, Stacy Salgado. Not old. Not old coach, her former coach.
All right. Well, first, again, congratulations to all of you teams. It's such a cool honor. I am fortunate to be here to celebrate Maya Sella and introduce her to the Hall of Fame. Maya is a generational soccer player that every coach dreams of having. Her work ethic, love and passion for the game, and true dedication to the ETHS girls soccer program is unmatchable. When Maya played for ETHS, many of her club teammates did not play for their high school. Maya always was very passionate about playing for high school, so she was the one that was like, no, I'm gonna stick my 4 years and play high school. I'll join club after our season ends. We always applauded her for doing that, and she kind of has paved the way for players now to notice and realize that playing for their high school, they can still be an incredibly successful athlete and soccer player. To this day, I still use Maya as an example of someone who's committed and brought so much to our program for 4 years and then went on to play at Division I soccer. So I was fortunate. I got to coach Maya for 3 years. I was 1 year as her head coach, 2 years as her assistant coach. She was a true competitor. In my early days, I would play with the team. I don't quite do that as much anymore, but I was always inspired to play with Maya alongside Maya. I'd be like, I want to go in the midfield with Maya. I know she has that vision. She'll play me the ball and make me look like a better player. She was smart beyond her years of soccer age. She made it look fun. She brought so much intensity, and everyone on the team bought in. She was unselfish on the field and brought out the best in her teammates. She was coachable, always asking questions and always wanting to learn more. Maya was the player that other coaches in the area all knew. They had scouting reports on Maya. That did not stop Maya. She adapted and did something new that they didn't know she was capable of doing. She was explosive, dynamic, had incredible vision, and game smarts. As Chris mentioned, she had an amazing, successful career here at ETHS. She was a 4-year starter, 2-year captain, which I don't think we've had. Usually we don't have juniors. Maya was above her age, and we needed her in that captain role. She was that 4-year conference player, and Chris mentioned 2-time All-State player. She also won for the PepsiCo Showdown. It was one of the largest high school soccer tournaments. She was the MVP of that. She was honored at a Cubs game, which was really cool. She was the runner-up for the Gatorade Player of the Year. When she was playing, there was a lot of great talent that year, but it was a true honor to even be considered. And then Maya, she did continue, and she played at University of Wisconsin, which I was very happy about. I know her family might have wanted Northwestern a little bit closer, but secretly I was like, yes, she's going to love it. She's going to do so amazing there. We always laughed because Rose Lavelle, if you're familiar with soccer, was the midfielder right before Maya. Maya stepped in and took her spot, which is also very, very cool. She had a great success at Wisconsin, as Chris mentioned already, so I won't go through that. When Maya was in college, we still stayed in contact. She always came home. She helped run our summer camps. Girls idolized her, looked up to her, feared her. We had her come play for our alumni games. They're like, that's the Maya we've heard about. They didn't even necessarily know her, but they knew her name. That's how much she made an impact on our team. When we took our high school team up to Madison to play a couple games, Maya showed our team the campus, walked us around the athletic facility, even though she didn't even know the players. It was just like, yes, I want to be part of the ETHS girls soccer team. When she returned, she still played in some of those alumni games, much better this time because I got to play alongside her even more, and not necessarily against her. She helped our team and has continued to help our team prepare for playoffs. And she's just an incredible person. She's stuck around. She comes back. She's here tonight from DC, but just for literally 24 hours. Her family's here with her to support her. It is an honor. I am so excited for her and this huge accomplishment, being inducted into the ETHS Hall of Fame. And she was really one of the first players that I got to coach alongside Grillo, who was the head coach when my first year here. He was like, watch this player, watch to see what she does. And she really has done that. And she has set the tone and set our program into the right direction. So congratulations, Maya.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Public speaking is not really my jam, so bear with me as I get through this. Sorry. I want to thank you all for being here today. First, I would like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for this incredible honor. It's one that I truly did not see coming, but I'm so grateful for. This, to me, this recognition feels less like a moment in time and more of a reflection of over 20 years of my life that I dedicated to a sport that I absolutely love. So I'm so glad to be here. I do want to thank my teammates from the very first AYSO team all the way through my time at UW-Madison. Soccer, to me, soccer has always been at its core a team sport. So it's always felt a little bit strange to me to accept individual recognition because individual success only happens when every single person on the field is doing their job. And I wouldn't be standing here today without every single one of them. So in reality, this belongs just as much to every teammate who pushed me, supported me, and made the game so much fun for me. I also want to thank my coaches, to Coach Grillo, though he unfortunately couldn't make it here today. He gave me the confidence as a freshman to believe that I could compete with the best of the best. And to Stacy, who played such a huge role in preparing me to jump right in at the college level. And to both of them for somehow managing to successfully impart soccer knowledge to a group of teenage girls who were pretty much convinced they already knew everything. Of course, to my family, to my parents, thank you for the endless support, for spending what probably added up to years of your lives driving me to practices, tournaments in the middle of nowhere, Midwest, carpooling and cheering from the sidelines in every single kind of weather, all to watch me play this game that I love. And to my siblings, thank you for your constant support. Two of them could be here today, Kira and Joe. Thank you for the constant support, even when it sometimes meant being dragged to one of my never-ending games. And I didn't know she would be here today, but to my niece, Cece, thank you so much for coming, and I love you. I couldn't have done this without all of you. And finally, I just want to say how grateful I am to be joining such an elite group of athletes in the ETHS Hall of Fame. It really is an incredible honor to be part of this tradition. Go Kids!
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Congratulations again once to Maya. And now time for our final inductee, individual inductee, and that's from the class of 2019, a diver for us, Lucy Hogan. Lucy won the ETHS State Championship in diving in 2018 and was the state runner-up in 2015 and 2016. She is the current ETHS record holder for 6 dive and 11 dive meets at Evanston and was a 4-year diver at the University of Michigan. She earned all academic All-American honors in 2021 and was the captain of Michigan Swimming and Diving. She was a 2-time All-American on 3-meter and platform. Here to introduce her today is her mother, Emily.
Hi, everybody. We're changing this up a little bit. So I'm introducing Lucy today, and I'm Emily. I'm her mom. You can see I'm a little bit nervous. But I'm so thrilled to introduce her to you, and I'm so proud and grateful that she's being admitted to the ETHS Hall of Fame. Thank you so much for that honor for her, and congratulations to all the other awardees today. We're here to celebrate Lucy's athletic accomplishments as a diver, and there are many. While she was at ETHS, she won the Illinois state title in 2018, was the state runner-up in 2015 and 2016. She received All-American honors for all 3 years of her high school seasons. She took her junior year off to train for Junior World Championships. She was the Chicago Tribune Athlete of the Month in 2015 and 2018, and she received the Margaret Bourne Award for Outstanding Female Athlete in 2019. At the University of Michigan, Lucy was awarded all Big Ten academic honors, All-American honors, and the University of Michigan Athletic Academic Achievement Award. Throughout her 4 years, she was the only female diver on her team who competed in all 3 diving events, the 1 meter, the 3 meter, and the 10 meter platform, and consistently scored points for her team throughout her career. She was a Big Ten finalist her sophomore, junior, and senior years, and she qualified for the NCAA championships on the 10 meter platform her junior year. Lucy left her legacy at Michigan as a team captain, and she was a graduate assistant coach while in graduate school. Finally, Lucy ranks 8th on the all-time University of Michigan scoring list, a list built over 53 years of Michigan history. However, as her mom, when I reflect on her achievements as a diver and the moments I'm most proud of, I don't think about those achievements. I think about Lucy's fierce dedication to her sport and the small wins that she racked up every day that led to these public official achievements. I think about days when she would come home with bruises all over her back and her arms from smacking the water hard, when learning a new dive and then going back to practice the next day to do it again. I think about the years she continued to show up to practice every day, despite being shunned by every girl on her club team during months of horrible bullying. I think about tears of rage, frustration, and disappointment after she'd miss a finals cut in a competition, and how she'd show up the next day clear-eyed, resolute, and ready to compete again. I think about months of riding the exercise bike and doing physical therapy while a painful stress fracture on her spine healed. And I think about how every time she got up on one of those boards, whether at practice or in competition, she had to push through her fears. Being a diver is scary, and as a parent, watching diving is scary, but Lucy never let her fears stop her. It's these quiet moments of determination and resilience that I'm most proud of, and they are quintessentially Lucy. Even though her athletic career is over, I can't wait to see where the skills she built as an athlete take her next. Congratulations, Lucy, on this huge honor and on being the amazing young woman that you are. We're all so proud of you, and we love you.
Hi, everybody. I'm truly honored to be here today and to represent ETHS and to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. I want to thank Coach Blick, Coach Melnick, the entire swim and dive coaching staff, Mr. Levatino, the entire athletic department, and the Evanston community for
believing in me, supporting me consistently through my athletic career, and challenging me. My time at ETHS taught me what it means to be a part of a truly supportive community. I'll never forget the energy and the enthusiasm from the entire Evanston family leading up to my state title and the outpouring of support after I won. I carried that support, encouragement, and sense of family with me to the University of Michigan. There, as a captain and later as a graduate assistant coach, I made it my mission to ensure that every single teammate understood what it meant to be part of a team and to know that people are rooting for you and cheering for you. As famous Michigan football coach Bo Schembechler always said, it's about the team, the team, the team. And I couldn't be more proud that my team includes my family, my friends, this high school, and everyone in Evanston. I'm honored to represent this great school and this great community everywhere I go. I'm so proud to be from Evanston, and I'll continue to uphold the values of this athletic department and this community that shaped me everywhere I go. Thank you so much again. Go Kids.
Big plaque here, or your little plaque in a second.
Oh,
Good save.
almost lost the mic. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Lucy. And finally, we're here to conclude with the induction of our two great teams. I will read the highlights about our teams and then ask all of our team members and coaches that are present today to come forward to receive their individual plaques that we have up here. You can then, after Coach Fenny gets an opportunity to say some words, you guys will have the opportunity to come up and say a few words yourself. We just have one rule, okay? 1 minute max on the mic. We've seen that deteriorate in years past. Not necessarily with our track and field program, but we wanna make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to say what they would like to say. So this is a unique year. We have two teams that are different teams, and yet many of the same members are on both of these teams because it's our 2005 and 2006 girls track and field teams. Coached by Fenny Gunter, these Wildcats completed the string of 4 straight state championships from 2003 to 2006. The 2005 team beat Morgan Park 84-71 at the state meet. Shalina Clark won both hurdle events. Clark and Day Day Hill finished 2-3 in the 100 and 200. Hill, Lauren Wampa, Leah Schenkier, and Brittany Toller finished second in the 4x200 relay. Ariel McAlpin and Jonkia Stewart Butler earned top 4 in the long jump and triple jump. And our 4x100 and 4x400 relays finished 5th and 7th. The 2006 team dominated the state, beating runner-up Palatine 91-46 and winning state championships in 6 different events. Clark won 4, the 100, 200, and both hurdle events. Hill, Adrian Slaughter, Stuart Butler, and Toller won the 4x100 and the 4x200 relays. Morgan Pointer, Schenkier, Slaughter, and Stuart Butler took second in the 4x400 relay. And Hill took second in the 100 and 200, and Stuart Butler took third in the long jump. No other sports program in ETHS history has won more than 4 straight state championships. Get on up here, 2005, 2006 girls track and field program. We're gonna have, you guys can just come on here, sit in the chair, and we're gonna deliver your plaques to you on our cart. Oh, you need the plaques.
Yeah. Oh, these are nice. Stand. Oh, there's one.
I cannot sit here.
No, I can't sit.
I gotta stand up.
You gotta stand up, Pat.
Yeah, we've never had it do two. Day, I'm gonna give you this to hold it.
Hopefully tonight got it. This is my favorite anyway.
Come over here. For the young ladies who, for the ladies who weren't able to attend, we had Leah, Tiffany Strong, Marie, who else we missing? Jakia. I believe that's it.
Yep.
And then, so for those young ladies, we definitely want to give them a shout out and tell them congratulations because they were all contributors. On that 05 team, we had a couple of young ladies who weren't mentioned who were significant contributors during that season. Lauren West did an outstanding job for us on some of those relays, all conference selection. We got Marie, we got Bola again, all conference selections for those young ladies, big time contributors for the program. Brittany Adams. Y'all stop.
You got it, Tiffany.
Brittany Adams, another big time contributor during the course of the season for us. It was greatly a great continuation from the 2003-2004 groups to be able to continue the 2005-2006. Those young ladies really learned from the Coretta Evans, the Jamila Smiths, the Maya Edwards from 2003. Those young ladies started the wrath. But again, there was one other program who did do a four-peat, and that was that 1953 through 56 boys swim program. And again, all hail to the swim program. Boys and girls. And I do share the office with the swim coach. And that was a great shout out to Mr. Blick and staff. Mr. Blick was my trainer in high school, one of my PE teachers, and I love Mr. Blick. Two great groups, no pressure on them. Coaching staff did a great job with them. We have also LaShawn Kennedy, who was our jump coach, who really did a tremendous job with that 205 group because Jakia and Ariel McAlpin really got us off to a good start before we even hit the track. We had multiple points, and from that point on, we just smooth sailing. We only had one hiccup. Was that the year they came and took the pictures in front of us and we were about to fight?
Yep, freshman year.
We had a rival school who liked to pick with us. Morgan Park. And in 2004, we were eating at a dining hall, and they kind of weaseled through our line while we were in line minding our own business, and that sort of got me riled up. So we handled that. We handled that, thankfully. And then a year later, same state meet, we were at the warm-up track, and we're over in the corner minding our own business. And some of their young ladies wanted to stop in front of us and take pictures while we were minding our own business. And Day handled that. Told me, don't worry, Gunter, I got this. We got this, Gunter. And I just went on back over in the corner, sat down with the rest of the coaches, and the young ladies really performed at a high level. Pressure. They definitely were under some pressure. And I don't know if they really realized it I know the coaching staff, we didn't put any on them. We just say, hey, from one year to the next, it's a different story, different goals. Just do what you're supposed to do to the best of your ability, and we'll see what happens at the end. And both of those groups did a tremendous job just feeding off of one another. If we had a hiccup, we just bounced right on through it. Like we always told them, when one event is done, we move to the next, no matter good or bad. Forget whatever we just did, let's get ready for the next event. And those young ladies really performed at a high level through the 15 or 14 events that we were contesting over those 2 years. Just team. Track and field, like a few sports or more individual type sports, we really had a team for that 4 year period. We had enough flexibility and enough confidence in our athletes where we were able to move a lot of people around and give them some opportunities and let them be able to excel. And that really shows you have a team. And we were very blessed and fortunate to have those type of individuals who listened to their coaches and had good upbringing and understood about commitment and making sacrifices. To this group, I want to read this. The secret can never be taught. It can only be discovered by the athletes willing to make sacrifices and take chances. The secret is this: there is inner pride, quiet joy, and personal victory in any struggle. An old-fashioned concept, perhaps, but one that has always produced champions, and not just the ones who stand on the winner's podium. So regardless of our outcomes, each and every one of y'all, true champions. And I salute you, Coach Cyber, salute you, all the coaching staff salute you, and Miss Natalie back there who doesn't like to come up and be notarized. Miss Natalie. For our parents, thank you. Okay. Thank you for entrusting your daughters to us. For some of them, from grade school. And our staff really appreciate you letting us work with your daughters, for that period of time that we were fortunate enough to have them. Because we took them all over the country a lot of times, a lot of years, and a lot of late nights getting back and staying in hotels and a lot of eating out. But we really appreciate you all trusting us with your daughters. Now I'll turn it over to the young ladies. Who wants to come up first?
I'll just say something.
All right, we'll start with Miss Hill.
Hi, you guys. My name is D'Amica, aka Day. I was the loose cannon on the team, if you haven't picked any of that up. But I just wanted to say thank you to all of my incredible teammates. I couldn't have done it without you guys, and just wanted to give a special shout out to Coach Cyber.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Wampa and I'm a yapper, so I'll be mindful of the minute that I have. I was the graduate of class of 2005, so that 05 run, I think I was kind of like the team mother, the OG. But I just cannot stress enough how much of an impact that phase of my life has had on the rest of my life. And I was almost to tears last night reuniting with all these beautiful and amazing women who inspired me then and continue to inspire me now. And I'm just so honored to be a part of this class. And thank you so much, Benny, for all you do, truly. And thank you to Coach Cyber, who really should be here. He should really be here. So thank you so much. This is such a beautiful ceremony. Thank you so much for all you put into this. Chris, I can't even call you by your first name. It's awkward. He was my volleyball coach. Thank you for all you've done for the program over the last 20 plus years. Tranquil, you've been amazing, and I'm just really blessed to be here. So I'll pass it on to whoever wants to speak next.
Yep, go ahead, Ms. Bo.
Hi, everyone. I just want to thank you guys for coming to celebrate us, and I just want to congratulate all the ladies. You guys truly left an everlasting impression on me. You showed me what teamwork really felt like. You showed me what sisterhood really felt like. It's not a day that I ran in a meet that I did not feel supported, whether I placed first or fifth, I always felt supported by you guys. And I just want to thank Coach Finney because he was truly not just a coach, but he was a father figure. He made sure we stayed on top of our grades, so it wasn't just about track and field. It was about making sure that you had success after the program. And I thank all of the coaching staff, Ms. Wilson, Ms. Natalie, Coach Steiber. I thank you all because you guys truly left an impact on all of us, and we appreciate it. And thank you, ladies. I appreciate you guys.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tranquil Wilson, one of the assistant coaches, and I just want to say it was a pleasure working with each and every one of you. The energy that came from you guys. I don't think you guys were just teammates. I think you guys are family. That's the way I look at it. Family and the father. Uncle Cyber, Auntie Natalie, and I was an auntie too. So so it was a pleasure working with you. You guys it was a lot of hard work, and that's what it takes to be a champion. You have to put in a lot of hard work and dedication. They worked out during the summer meets. We started practice, I think, September, October. So, and the season started, in January. So it's a lot of hard work. So it paid off. So congratulations again.
Thank you, Trey.
Hello, my name is Ariel McAlpin. I'm class of 06. I have to say something according to Finney. So everyone has basically said it all. This team was our lives, and it was, you don't know what you have until it's gone. It was just a beautiful family. I know a lot of people went to college and ran, but college was nothing like what we had in high school. It was a family. You could just be yourself. And, we didn't have like Facebook or TikTok or anything back then that was like phones. We just had each other. So it was just great to just talk and have all of these memories and have jokesters and have like the shy girl or the all-star, or everyone was just like, they had their job and they did it well, and there was no ego. It was just, we were all working together as this well-oiled machine that Coach Finney and the great late Coach Cyber, who was the most jovial, good cop to Finney's bad cop sometimes, but the incredible human you could ever meet. We are the most luckiest, blessed, I think, to have, met each other and to have been a part of this. So thank you.
Our
2005 group, come on up with the plaque. Who has the 2005?
I got the 2005.
Right. We'll do everyone that was on the 2005 team, come forward for a group picture. And we'll do 2006 right after that. Coaches, you guys doing?
It's daytime.
All right, y'all. You're gonna look right with my lens here from your brightest smile. 3, 2, beautiful. 4. All right.
All right. Most of you are going to continue to stay in. Mom, you got to go. All right, 2016.
All right, y'all. Look right with my lens here. Guys, give me your brightest smiles. Gorgeous.
All right, now. You guys are also special. We have plaques for you guys. So,
You done talking?
Yeah, baby.
No, I already called you the bad cop. I would have called you the good cop.
Hey, Coach Cyber was that criminal.
He was.
almost told that story, but I decided not to.
Thanks for making me go up there, Finney.
That's what they say. They said it wrong. You was the good guy.
You got the biggest family of anybody I know.
Oh, man. Believe me, and when that phone don't never stop ringing, I'll be like, oh.
Yeah, but you'd be sorry if it did.
As they say, right place, right time.
How you doing?
Always been fabulous to me.
We wanted to take a picture holding the flag right now.
I still have all the articles.
Hey, hey.
Thank you.
Y'all going over to that table where that swim girl is and tell her congratulations.
Okay.
Going over there and tell that girl congratulations. With the white on. Take everybody over there. No, going over to that table where the swim girl is. Going over there. Go. Go.
Two more plaques for you, Coach. I don't know how many you got, but
LaShawn.
oh, I have a whole. I'll bring them back.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying just one person to take another coin too.
All right.
Is there anything more you want to say?
Just one more thing.
Yeah.
In closing, I also would like to say that 2005 and 6th group, we didn't win conference and we didn't win our state sectionals. We were a little more focused on the state meet.
I love that you had to add that in there. So at the end of it all, we salute each and every one of our individuals, our two teams. As I said at the beginning, you guys are part of an incredible legacy of ETHS athletics. But I hope you also heard throughout tonight or today that it isn't just about your athletic accomplishments. We just have produced some really incredible human beings here. And I'm so proud of who each and every one of you are as people. You embody what we're hoping to bring out of all the athletes that graduate from ETHS. So thank you guys for that, and enjoy and celebrate the accolades of today. And we hope that we get you back for some contests in the future. It's always great to see our alumni back at events. It's always great to have our alumni support our missions going forward. So please don't be strangers. If any of you would like to take a tour of the athletic wing, I do always provide that as an opportunity at the end. We're going to tidy up a little bit, and then we'll head around and take you guys on a tour of the athletic wing. Thank you guys again, and congratulations. Go Kids!